G'day everyone, Aussie Dissident Prepper here. Picked up a few subscribers. I've got like 22 now, which I'm pretty surprised really, given that the early or the young nature of this channel and the amount of videos that have been. So I appreciate everyone for subscribing. Been getting quite a few comments as well, which has been awesome. So again, thanks very much. Now I am in the middle of some personal stuff I'm dealing with. It's not like personal problems I have. I've had to take some weeks off work to look after my young son, who's 16 months old, while his mother has gone out of town. So little fellas 24/7 around the clock watch. You don't get a lot of time to do stuff. You don't get a lot of time for quiet. He's passed out in a food coma on my bed. So that. It's been really awesome having and spend that time with him, but as a result, I haven't been able to make the videos I wanted to make. So I just thought I'd bring up a couple of things. I've done a little bit of work on my Land Cruiser, and once I get the free time, I'm going to make some videos covering my vehicle, mods I've done and mods I'm planning to do. I've ordered a tripod and everything so I can actually try to make... I'm just using my phone to record. I'm not going to go buy any specialised camera equipment at this point at least. But at least that way I'll be able to like set up a shot instead of like shaking it around and making it really hard to watch and understand. So I got a date. I got a date that my lease expires in this house, and it's the 26th of February. So essentially my plans are not to renew my lease, and I need to be ready then. I need to be ready then to live out of that car. Still scary, and this time with my boy, who, pardon me, I was trying to swallow then. The time with my boy is impacting preparations to that a bit. I normally have him during the day, and I see him every single day, but he's never really stayed here. We were sort of figuring, because of his young nature and all that, and used to his bed, a bit better of a routine. But he's been absolutely thriving here, and it's been awesome. But yes, I have a date, and I'm sticking to the plan. And there's going to be people in my life. I have 4 children with 3 different mothers. Maybe that tells you I never learned my lesson, or I don't learn my lessons easily. And I don't really know how they're going to take this news. I've actually told the mother of my youngest boy, and I was expecting her to be pretty upset, pissed off about it, that kind of thing. She seemed to take it well, and she knew that this is something I want to do, and I want to get this land, and it's not just to prep on. I want to have something to give to my children, and we're all in these financial shackles that we can't shake free of, and unless I take a drastic step like this, it's just not going to happen. Living hand to mouth for 40, 50 years until you can retire, and then try to, eke out some memories and do some things. I'm not having it. It's just unacceptable to me. It's so foolish to whittle away our lives, and things are getting worse. So I need to prep and prepare and get ready while I'm still young enough to be able to perform a lot of this work. Like, I can construct my own dwelling and stuff. I'm a trade qualified carpenter. I can weld. I can do vehicle repairs. I can use hand tools. I can do all that sort of stuff. I've not even done any 240 electrical, and I'm not going to need to, because when I am building my dwelling, I am just going off 12 volt, infinitely easy to repair and power. Maybe I'll have an inverter at some point, but you can do everything off 12 volt, and a battery bank and survive so comfortably. So I just will not need that sort of level of complexity or having to get a qualified tradesman to do those sort of things. So yeah, the plan is vehicle ready, and come that date, that's where I'm at. So once I get to start making videos again, I'm gonna make I guess a series, like a countdown, I guess it is. And obviously this changes my access to and ability to prep for certain situations, because I won't have a permanent residence. You know, my vehicle is going to be housing preps. You know what I mean? I'll have my bug air vehicle with me, but I can't have a couple of 1,000 litre pods of water sitting under the house if I don't have a house. I can't have cupboards of food and stuff like that. I know you can get, and a lot of people use, and especially people do the van life, they get like a self-storage unit and store stuff in there. I am probably going to get a small one, not for prepping per se, because I kind of think that that's probably not a great solution. A lot of times you depend on electricity to get in, power grid's down, what are you going to try to jump the fence? People are going to be going to ransack those places to begin with. So it's more going to be keeping personal effects like photos and stuff that I want to have with me once I get a property and set up a dwelling. I may put some stuff in there a little bit. It doesn't hurt to have some food preps in there. Obviously we want long life stuff that's impervious to pests, mice and whatever else is crawling around in those storage units. It has to be well sealed. They're going to be fumigating in those places all the time, and they're not super well sealed. So, you know, those sort of pesticides and those kinds of things are going to waft in. You don't want to be consuming that stuff. So these are all things we've got to think about. I may also speak to a couple of people I know locally and ask if I can set up like a small cupboard at a few different houses, a lockable cabinet, where I can again put more prep. So I've got multiple locations that bounce around, but I'm not totally limited to what's in my vehicle or with me in my vehicle. My vehicle gets destroyed by fire or whatever. You know, I have places that I can sort of get to, and the town I live in is split by a river. There's 2 bridges, so obviously I want things on each side of the town. So I have options. Those bridges get closed. It's no good me being on the other side and not being able to access them. I ain't trying to swim across the river here. I live in saltwater crocodile country, and the sharks, they stopped commercial netting in the river a few years ago, and the bull sharks are getting bigger and bigger. It's a big risk, and it's not a practical solution. So that's not gonna. I would if I was desperate and my life depended on it. Pick the time and day. Low tide, I think, so you have less to swim across. But yeah, it's a risky business. I've also had somebody comment on, I think it was my last video, talking about an Australian prepper network. Now I've been on a number of prepper like chat groups on Telegram. There's heaps of them. A lot of them, it's really poor noise to signal ratio for me. I don't ever want to see change.org petitions being floated. We're not going to affect any change with petitions. And in all honesty, if you think that this government or the governments in our state and then federal government are capable of changing act in our best interests, if you at all believe that, I just don't think that mentality is going to do you good, and I have zero interest in promoting that sort of stuff. So I gave the person my Instagram, they messaged me. We'll talk a little bit more about it. I do have some ideas with that, and I mean, the biggest thing with online groups is you've got to be really, really careful. My current occupation, I'm a senior systems engineer for an IT company, so I deal with managing other businesses, ICT infrastructure, cybersecurity, servers, email, workstation, security, patching, networking, CCTV, the whole spectrum when it comes to that sort of stuff. So I'm acutely aware of risks and the risks that people take online. I mean, I'm old enough now that I've been on the internet since it was basically, I'm talking about the World Wide Web style internet, HTML based web pages. Prior to that, I was on like the Fido network in the early 90s. There was no operational security mindset then. The cyber security sort of thing, my details are probably well established all over the place, so I'm probably not in a position to become anonymous on the internet. I really wish that was the case, but that ship sailed for me. So now, and for the other people in the same position, it's about securing your information now, and what you put out there that can be exploited against you, or distancing yourself from stuff so you can access information that, not even government, that social media platforms try to stop us. I mean, Facebook was sending or displaying alerts saying, is somebody too prepared. Like, you must consider all those sort of social networking platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, all of them. If you want to use them, and that's fine, and I use most of them to some varying degree, but you must assume that they're all compromised, and that whatever your political persuasions are, they are very much diametrically opposed to prepping and the prepper mentality. So be careful what you put on there. And I've waffled on a bit now. I'm just trying to get a video out while the little fella's asleep. I definitely am not going anywhere. There will be more videos to come. Maybe in a couple of days I can maybe eke out a little something. I think my son's going to go to his auntie's place for a few hours on Saturday. So if that does happen, I really want to try to get a launch video for my whole, I've got the date, this is what's happening, maybe a brief overview of my car, and then subsequent videos to follow it up. I've recently installed a fridge slide for my 12-volt fridge. I built a cage for it out of a security door I got from a colleague at work. I'm going to show all you guys that sort of stuff. Future mods I'm doing. I have stuff at work that's been delivered for my vehicle. So I've got a snorkel, I've got a breather kit for the front and rear diffs, transfer case and gearbox. What else have I got coming? I can't even remember. I've been trying to sell off stuff that is just, I'm never gonna need it anymore or want it, or if I do need it, I can acquire it years down the track when I'm on my own place and funnel that money into getting my vehicle ready. I do have to order some new tyres, so I've been doing as much research as possible. I'm trying to decide on, sizes, all-terrain versus mud terrains. Do I want to get new wheels or rims, and maybe get a negative offset to just push the tracking out on it a little bit? They're all things we're going to discuss. Also want to touch on ham or amateur radio. We call it amateur radio here in Australia, but most Americans are going to be, well, probably most people in general, ham radio is probably going to make more sense, or they're more familiar with that term. I'm a licensed amateur radio operator, VK4DJT. If you're ever in the central Queensland area, maybe we can make contact at some point. At the moment, I just have a handheld. I haven't even bought a proper big HF transceiver. It was on the list, but now with what's happening, I'll be looking at going to a smaller mobile unit that will go on the vehicle. Again, cost is a limiting factor, all these sorts of things. Very exciting. So thanks so much for what this has gone for 15 minutes. I really apologise if I've waffled on too much. I just want this to be, and you know, I'm an Aussie. I just want this to be a fair dinkum, bloody no bullshit approach and discussion about prepping. How it applies to us. There's so much brilliant material for people in the US and over that, a lot less in Australia, and there's lots of people that make stuff in Australia, but they're really mimicking American stuff, which lots of it, the skills are transferable, but obviously our flora and fauna is a little bit different. Even a lot of Aussies I see that down south, they don't have to contend with the things I have to do up here. There's always these videos of people being able to take water out of these freshwater streams and camping right next to the river. You can't do that around here. You risk death, literally, in saltwater croc country. You can't just wade through. You know, these are all things we have to take in our stride and adapt our plans. So, if we do go ahead with this sort of prepper network, I'd really like it if people are able to share relevant and pertinent stuff. Maybe like growing vegetables in a more arid climate. The outback is very desert-like and it can be very hard. These are the things we want to know, like choosing a fire starter and all that kind of thing. There's heaps of reviews, and really me covering that is not going to give you any more nuggets of information. I'm not going to be able to bring anything to you that you can't find somebody somewhere else, and someone that's covered a lot more, a channel that's like been given stuff to test for manufacturers, those kinds of things. I'm not going to be able to value add to that, and I'm not here to make videos to be famous or to make a living off YouTube. That's not what this is about. If this channel ever gets to the point where I make money, however little it'd be that minute. It's I'm not going to be changing my career. I'm not going to be doing any of that sort of stuff. I'm happy to test stuff for manufacturers or Australian companies and that kind of things, give my input, and then I'd like to give it away, or if they want to do anything. But I'm not going to take money for reviews. I'm not going to give a good review to a bad product. In my opinion, that's neither here nor there, and that's probably a long way. I don't want to focus on that stuff right now. So again, thanks for the people that have watched all the way up until this point. Thanks to the people that subscribed. If you know people that are going to be interested in that sort of stuff, feel free to share these videos around. Again, there's nothing been of real substance yet, I don't think, on here. But people that I guess subscribe now are going to get in on the ground floor with that journey and this big transition I'm going to take in my life. And there's been people that have, there's heaps of van life channels and that, and they're really cool, but I haven't seen a lot of people who are, I guess, doing that because of the reasons that I'm doing, or the reasons that you and I consider ourselves preppers. So, stay safe. Don't swallow the BS of the mainstream media. Keep critically thinking and keep prepping. And let's not let the government tread on us. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.